Malcolm. Malcolm, please help me. I'm so cold. I can't feel my legs, and it's getting harder to see. Why am I so cold? Why can't I see? Am I dying? I don't want to die, Malcolm. Please. I don't want to leave you and Tommy. Oh, I hear something. Is that you? Malcolm? Are you going to save me? Is anyone there? Malcolm, please.
Mr. Merlyn.
Yes. What is it?
So sorry if I startled you. But the doctor will see you now.
CBW Productions presents Green Arrow, Year 1. Written by Wyatt Bowden. Edited by Joseph E.W. Produced by CBW and the Knighthood Project.
Hello, Malcolm. Please, come in and be seated. My apologies for keeping you waiting.
Don't worry about it, Doctor. I only nodded off briefly. I will say I was grateful to be woken up. I was having the most horrible dream.
All the same, I do apologize. I was just going over our notes from your last session.
Oh? Did I say something worth note?
More or less. I'm just refreshing my memory. Last time we saw each other, you had spoken about a project you were working on to honor your late wife. How has that been going?
I am happy to report things have been progressing rather well on that front. In fact, we're nearing completion.
Wow, that certainly is good news. If you don't mind my asking, what exactly is this project? You've mentioned it a lot in our previous sessions, but never its intent.
It isn't something I'm exactly able to really divulge, given its proprietary nature at this time. I'm sure you understand the concepts of non-disclosure agreements, yes?
Of course. I didn't mean to pry into something unrelated to your visits.
Think nothing of it. I can at least explain it in a more general sense. After all, the intent behind it is definitely related to our sessions.
You're referring to it being in honor of Rebecca?
I am. Rebecca loved this city. Personally, I've never been able to stand this place. It's always too loud, everything feels too grimy, and the smoke smell. Ugh.
This city can be an acquired taste. It's certainly better than places like Gotham or Bloodhaven, at least.
Maybe once upon a time. Still, though, if not for this city, I wouldn't have met my Rebecca, or had our son. I can always be grateful for that, at least. My hope with this project is to hopefully set it back on course to being the city that she loved. Not this grotesque mockery we see outside the windows.
That sounds ambitious. And admirable.
Well, I don't know about admirable, but I can definitely agree with ambitious. I've worked so tirelessly for so long and sacrificed so much along this path. Some might even argue I've sacrificed a little too much to pursue this goal. But I'm already widowed and childless, so honestly, what else do I possibly have to lose?
Speaking of your child, how have things been progressing with your handling of Tommy's passing?
Better than I think you might imagine, actually.
Oh?
Well, I bumped into Oliver Queen earlier this week, and we actually cleared the air on a great many things. I even apologized to him for my behavior towards him.
Oh. Wow. Malcolm, I must say, that is a tremendous step for you.
Coming so close to the fruition of my project has allowed me to put certain things into perspective. His father and I were dear friends before his untimely passing. Oliver really is the only link I have to him and my son. I would hate to callously throw that away.
I'm so pleased to hear that, Malcolm. It truly impresses me to see you moving in such a productive direction. Is something bothering you?
Oh, just a nagging thought I haven't been able to stop thinking about for a while.
Is this something you feel comfortable sharing?
Well, in the same vein of throwing away things that matter, I can't help but wonder if maybe my plan for this city is throwing away that care that Rebecca put into her social work.
How so?
Now, there isn't any doubt in my mind that this city needs the change I'm working towards. But even I can admit that what I want to create may be considered a bit extreme.
Are you worried that maybe you're escalating things too quickly without really considering the consequences for what you're doing?
In a sense.
Why don't you attempt to do something on a smaller scale first?
What do you mean?
Well, think of the clinic your wife worked so hard to build before her passing. She wanted to create a safe place that could give real benefit to the less fortunate members of this city. Perhaps before you implement your plan to help the city in your way, you could try doing something more in the way Rebecca believed in helping others.
I suppose doing something of that nature wouldn't necessarily hurt my endeavors.
And, either way, you would really be able to say you have made a genuine attempt for this city and have no more doubt in your mind about this path you're on.
I like the sound of that. Thank you for helping me make sense of things, Doctor.
That's what I'm here for. Now, tell me about this dream you were having.
How are you, Malcolm?
We're at my wife's funeral, Robert. How do you think I am?
Oh, well, yes. Of course, you probably aren't okay. I was just meaning...
We're just concerned for you, Malcolm. We want to be here for you.
I appreciate that. Truly, I do. But right now, given my current frame of mind, I genuinely have nothing inside me that I would wish to subject you to.
Well, that's tough, Because friends help friends through dark times, and you're no exception.
Moira, this fussing over my well-being is really not...
I'm afraid it's useless to fight with her, Mal. Once my lovely wife has her mind set to something, you will not get her to change it.
I'm afraid you're stuck with having friends who care about you. I know. Isn't it just dreadful?
I suppose there are worse afflictions to suffer.
That's the spirit.
How's Tommy been?
Well, not as dour as you, but definitely not good.
Oliver and Thea have been trying to keep his spirits raised, but he's definitely not in a good place right now mentally. Which is hardly surprising. The boy did just lose his mother.
We didn't lose her, Robert. She was taken from us. Lost would at least mean it'd be possible to find her again.
Sorry, I didn't mean... It's just that...
Robert, sweetheart, why don't you go check on the kids?
Yeah, sure thing.
He means well, Malcolm. He may not know the right things to say in this moment, but you don't have to jump down his throat about everything.
I know. I'm sorry.
We care about you and Tommy very dearly. You can let us be there for you without fighting us every step of the way.
I'll try not to. Thank you, Moira.
Hello, my sweet love. What's up?
I wanted to give my condolences.
Condolences, dear.
Yeah, I wanted to give that to Mr. Merlyn.
Well, thank you, Thea. I very much appreciate...
I really hope you're gonna be okay.
Me too.
See? Now that wasn't so bad, was it? Don't mind her skittishness. You know how shy kids can be.
Mr. Merlyn?
Yes, Oliver?
I wanted to offer my sympathies, sir.
Thank you, young man. I appreciate your effort. For both me and for the levity you've been bringing Tommy.
Speaking of Tommy, would it be all right if he stayed over at our house a little longer?
Is everything all right?
Yeah. He's just been nervous about going home since, well, you know.
I understand. Tell him that's perfectly fine.
Oh, really? Thank you, sir.
Kids, right?
I'm just glad Tommy has people his own age to lean on during this time.
I'm sorry about getting my foot jammed in my mouth before. I've never been good at handling funerals and death. But is there anything we can do for you?
I'll be all right for now. Thank you, Robert. You've all been wonderful.
We've all got to lean on each other sometime, Mal. That's what families do. And you and Tommy are family to us.
You have no idea how much that means to me, Robert. Truly.
We're going to head out and get the kids something to eat. You want to join?
I'll be fine here. I need some time to think.
Well, you know where to find us if you need us.
You know, I've never been much of a believer. Though my parents tried their hardest to beat your scriptures into me when I was younger, there was one I was always fond of. We use the spiritual armor that you have provided to combat the enemy. But where was that armor to protect her when she needed it most? Huh?
We put on the belt of truth and the breastplate of righteousness and stand with sharp-footed stability because we have the gospel of peace. Above all, we take the shield of faith and stand against the fiery darts of the evil one. Ephesians 6:13-15. Are you feeling some animosity towards the Savior?
More bitterness than animosity, really. My apologies if you work with the church and I've offended you.
I serve a faith of a kind, but definitely not the Church of Man. My deepest condolences on your loss, however.
Thank you. Did you know Rebecca?
I did not. Still. Oh, such a shame to lose such a kind light from this world.
You're not a reporter, right?
God, no. Oh. But, as someone who has also lost those close to me, I sympathize with your plight.
If you aren't affiliated with my wife or her family, then who are you?
Someone who understands the dangers of what that bitterness you feel can become. If not properly channeled, it will become poison in your veins.
What are you even... Well, then how exactly should I be using it? What's this?
Hopefully the start of something far more constructive.
Those reprobates who killed Rebecca were only sentenced to 15 years.
With possibility of parole.
That's outrageous. These valueless nobodies ruined my life. They killed an innocent woman.
Her death has been ruled as accidental.
Accidental? She was pushed out of a window.
Without any actual evidence to corroborate that, their attorney managed to get it ruled as an accidental fall. That she was startled and tripped.
Bastards!
I know. Such a shame that a once shining beacon would fall so far.
This city has fallen so far into a hole. I don't even think my Rebecca could have said she recognized it before she passed.
We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness in life, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. If only there were a way to help reset or restore this city to its former glory, to wash away all the bad, not unlike when God flooded the earth.
If only.
Would you like to find one?
Come again?
Perhaps I should properly introduce myself. My name is Dante. I run an organization that works to build a better world from the broken pieces of the old one. Would you like to help be a part of that change by finding a way to save your city?
Rough night, Bill?
Do you think this is funny, Malcolm? That maniac assaulted and tortured me. He almost turned me into a pincushion with that thing.
And I had it handled for you, did I not?
Well, you need to find a new way to handle it because this time he got way too close. My office is one thing, but my home?
Bill, I do not interfere with your part of our relationship, so I would expect the same courtesy to be considered as you calm down and think about how you're speaking to me right now.
Is that a threat?
A suggestion. A polite one at that.
You know what he wanted? He wanted me to tell him about Ouroboros and you. He mentioned you by name, Malcolm.
Really? Well, I have to admit I didn't see that coming.
Are you impressed by this?
Only slightly. It's not like it matters. At this current stage, Ouroboros can't be stopped, as long as no pertinent information was given.
Do you think I would?
Of course not. Still, one can never be too certain.
Well, I need to be certain there will not be any repeat offenses from this problem you said you would take care of.
Don't worry, Bill. I'm sure I'll think of something.
Good. All this excitement is grating on my nerves.
In the meantime, I was wanting to propose something else to you.
Oh? What is it?
I was just thinking, before we enact Ouroboros in its entirety, perhaps it would be nice to hold a charity event at the Merlyn Clinic.
Oh.
I've been placing a great deal of thought into this. We could hold an event to gather donations to help the less fortunate, provide food for those less fortunate, and even garner clothing we can circulate.
How would this benefit your overall plan?
Well, the donations could be utilized into a fund that helps provide aid to the city once everything has run its course.
I'm sorry, Malcolm, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to say no to this particular idea.
May I ask why?
It's not even up to me, honestly. There's a lot of investments tied into that center that would have to approve it, and by the time it even reached the floor for a vote...
It would already be too late.
Well, I'm sorry, Malcolm. You understand, though, yes?
I suppose so.
Excellent. I do have a favor I need to ask of you, if I may.
A favor? What kind?
Well, it's not so much a favor from you as it is a favor I need to be achieved through you.
Oh?
I need you to put me in contact with the assassin friend of yours, the one the press calls Black Arrow.
What do you need from him?
The details involved concern a matter I would rather remain private for now.
Even from me?
Is there a problem?
I guess not. Take this and wait for his call.
Ah, thank you, Malcolm. I appreciate this immensely.
You're welcome. Is there anything else you... Unbelievable. I should probably wait a bit longer, but the suspense is killing me. Marlene? Marlene?
Yes, sir?
Please forward my calls for the rest of the day. I have the strangest feeling this bizarre request I just received is going to demand most of my attention. and I don't need to be disturbed.
Right away, sir.
Hello? Is it you? Are you him? The Black Arrow?
It is, though I can't say I care for that particular moniker.
Oh, good. I can't believe you're calling me so soon.
Mr. Merlyn expressed to me that your issue had some urgency to it. So, here I am.
Yes, it absolutely demands a level of urgency. I need you to eliminate someone for me.
Oh? Is there a particular reason you couldn't share that with Mr. Merlyn?
Well, you see, this particular individual holds a matter of some sensitivity in my life. Your employer and I may be partners, but that doesn't mean I necessarily trust divulging everything to him. To which, I will add, I expect some modicum of discretion kept between us for this request.
Of course, sir. Who is this person you need for me to find?
A punk gangster named Daniel Raynor. Hello? Hello? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. What's so special about this Mr. Raynor?
The vigilante threatened to uncover every last one of my skeletons when he assaulted me last night. Raynor is just a loose end I neglected to tie up.
Do you know where he is?
If I did, I wouldn't be asking for a hitman, now would I?
I understand, sir. However, how am I to find someone you don't even know where to locate?
Are you being impertinent with...
Perhaps it would help if I at least knew where to start looking.
I believe I heard that after his release, he may have joined up with the Bertinelli family, but that's all I really know.
Then I suppose it will have to do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be in contact when it's finished.
Oh, you have no idea how much I appreciate...
Raynor.
What business do you have with someone like that, Bill?
Malcolm, so good to see you.
Thank you for making time to see me, Robert.
It's never any trouble. We've hardly seen you these past few weeks since the funeral.
I've just had a lot on my mind. How's Tommy been holding up?
He's been doing better. Oliver has been doing his best to keep his spirits up since the funeral.
That's good to know.
And to think, you wanted them to stop being friends once upon a time.
Gloating is very unbecoming, Robert.
Have a seat. I'll pour us some drinks. Whiskey?
Sure.
You sounded pretty urgent on the phone. Is everything all right?
Robert, when you look out at the city, what do you see?
Are we speaking rhetorically?
I'll tell you what I see. I see a city on life support. A powder keg just waiting to explode. A cesspool of corruption and crime and Ouroboros feeding upon itself.
Good thing I went with the whiskey then.
I'm serious, Robert. This city is drowning in its own waste, and it will only grow worse as the years go on. Look what's become of the Glades, Star City's first home. Now it's just a home of poverty and violence.
What brought this on? Daniel Viper Raynor and associates sentenced to 15 years in Iron Heights following the robbery of a Glades Relief Clinic that resulted in the accidental death of its founder, Rebecca Merlyn.
Can you believe this tripe? Ruling her death accidental, like Raynor himself wasn't the one who pushed her out the window.
Now, Mal, I know this isn't the most favorable outcome, but at least they're behind bars.
For now. But just wait until they get parole. Then they'll be right back out on the streets, making more widows and orphans out of what's left of the innocent populace of this city.
Well, what did you expect? An execution?
I expected... I don't know what I expected, but Rebecca deserved more than this. She spent years trying to help the people of the Glades only to be killed by the very reprobates she was trying to save. That isn't right.
Look, we've all been funneling a lot of money into the Glades to try and restore it, but that kind of progress takes time. It'll bounce back. We just have to be patient and keep at it.
What this city needs is to be reset. To have all the bad blood and failures just wiped away from the map.
Malcolm, it's starting to sound like you want to destroy the city.
Not the whole city. Half, 2/3 at most.
You're serious?
Robert, aren't you tired of being afraid to walk down the street with your family? Tired of telling Moira not to wear her best jewelry except for when she's at work or out of town?
What you're talking about sounds like murder.
In ancient times, when certain civilizations were at the brink of their decadence, a cleansing fire would be made to purge all the rot from the city. No successful civilization has ever existed without a culling of all the blemishes within their society. I want to see Star City grow into something better. Something safer for Tommy, as well as Oliver and Thea.
Malcolm, are you listening to yourself? Who have you been talking with that has you thinking like this?
There are secret organizations that exist hidden where man will no longer tread or where it no longer casts a glance. Organizations that exist within the shadows. I recently made contact with one and they have offered to teach me.
Teach you what?
Whatever I need in order to find a way to save our city from itself.
Where do I come into play with this? Why tell me any of it?
Because I want you to join me, old friend.
Join you? Join you how?
You needn't worry yourself on being heavily involved. I will be the one funding the operation. All I need from you is a facility to store my research. We utilize each other's connections to help see this thing through together.
I don't want to be a part of something that has to hurt people.
I'm not asking you to hurt anyone, Robert. I'm asking you to help me as I discover a method to save our home.
What about Tommy? Where does he fit into this master plan of yours?
Unfortunately, my training will require me to have to leave for the next year.
The next year?
It's a part of their initiation. Once passed, they will allow you to continue your training anywhere else in the world.
But you can't just abandon your son!
Then perhaps you would be so kind as to continue watching him for me while I'm away.
I mean, of course we can look after him, but...
This is important, Robert. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't. You recently told me that we needed to lean on each other when the other is in need, yes? Well, I'm telling you I'm in need. So what would I have to do in order to gain your allegiance?
Malcolm.
What if what happened to my Rebecca had happened to Moira? Or to either of your children? What if it still does? This is our chance to prevent a great tragedy from befalling us or anyone else for years to come.
By causing a great tragedy in order to do it?
We're fathers, Robert. As fathers, we should be willing to do whatever it takes to make the world safer for our children. Do you disagree?
Well, No. No,
Then.
I don't.
Are we in agreement, then?
On one condition.
Name it.
We stop this if it begins to go too far.
Too far?
Is that a problem?
I'm just not really certain what you mean by that. After all, what I'm suggesting we do isn't exactly the most morally righteous in practice.
Maybe not, but if you want my help, that's my condition.
Very well, then. If you begin to think that we've gone too far, then I promise I will take care of it.
Thank you, Malcolm.
No. Thank you, Robert. I swear to you, my friend, this will be the start of something extraordinary. My. This is certainly an assault on the senses. Knock, knock.
Malcolm, what a nice surprise.
This isn't a bad time, is it? Your bullpen appears to be a bit more bustling than usual.
They're just a little on edge because the vigilante attacked the mayor last night.
Really? The mayor? I just saw him this morning and he didn't mention anything of the sort.
Yeah, the guy in the hood and his blonde friend apparently assaulted him in his penthouse and vandalized it on their way out. The commissioner has them all in a frenzy since the mayor basically ordered him to either get quicker results or turn in his resignation.
Oh, I see.
Evidently, this isn't even the first time something like this has happened. Though why the mayor didn't report the first attack months ago was beyond me. What's this?
Well, it's not lunch like we usually do, but I thought you could use something to keep you going since you've been so busy lately. I thought a delicious pastry and some caffeine might do the trick.
Oh, you didn't have to do this.
Think nothing of it. After all, I'm a father with no child. I need to dole out these parental instincts on someone. What's wrong? Do you not like it?
Oh, no, it's not that. Malcolm, could I ask for your opinion on something?
Oh, now you wish for some parental advice. Well, I may be a bit rusty on the concept, but I'll happily give it a whirl. Ask me anything, my dear.
If someone had broken your trust, but then made it up to you, would it excuse any other transgressions they make? Or would it be better to just write them off now before they fully betray you again?
I must admit I wasn't expecting something so intense. What brought you to this type of thinking? Someone new in your life?
I guess you could say that I really don't know what we are to each other. But they went and did something behind my back once before. Then they did the unexpected, and they had my back when it really mattered most. But now there's just been these new developments that have me on edge. And I'm wondering if I should just write them off like I wanted to originally. Or give them the benefit of the doubt and wait until I know more. I really don't know what choice to make here. So any thoughts you have would really help immensely.
This person sounds pretty special to you.
Maybe they are. I don't really know sometimes.
Well, in that case, my recommendation would have to be that you should trust your instincts. After all, you're a police captain. You have to follow your investigative skills to the truth all the time. I would say to be patient and observant of what they do next, and let them show you how you should respond to their actions.
Trust my instincts.
Something funny?
No, it's just... They had told me something similar. I guess I didn't really know if I should anymore since so much has happened since then. But if you're saying it too, then I guess it wouldn't hurt to cool my heels for now and just follow my gut.
In my experience, when it comes to personal relations, you should always try to have all the facts before you either continue or end the relationship. You wouldn't want to behave rashly without knowing for absolute certain that you are making the right decision.
You're right. I should sit on this for a little longer before I make my decision. Thank you for listening, Malcolm.
For you, Gina, anytime.
Oh no. One of the perps going into holding is getting rowdy with the uniforms. I gotta go deal with this before it escalates.
Should I...
Just wait here.
Well, that was certainly fortuitous. At least now I don't have to waste perfectly good coffee on a distraction. Now, Mr. Raynor, let's see what we can discover about what you've been up to. Seems you did manage to find a way into the Bertinelli crime family. Look at you, moving up in the world. No last known whereabouts, though. No matter. Suppose I'll just have to ask Don Bertinelli directly.
Alright, so sorry about that. I know how my guys can be, and I just didn't want anything bad to... Are you heading out already?
Gina, I apologize, but I just got a call from my assistant. Seems I'm late for a meeting I didn't expect to have.
It's okay, I get it. See you again soon?
Count on it. Next time will definitely be sooner rather than later.
It better be. You still owe me for last time.
Hey, man, you don't need to.
Damn.
I heard the shots come from in here.
Jesus. How did one guy do all of...
There he is.
What the hell? Look out!
Don Bertinelli, I presume. It's truly an honor to meet you.
Who the hell
do you think you are? Intruding into my home? Attacking my men?
Apologies for the mess. I am just a man searching for the truth.
What kind of truth?
I need to find one of your newer initiates, Daniel Raynor.
Viper? What could you want with a punk like him?
There's a personal matter that I need to settle with him.
Ugh. Well, I'm not exactly in the habit of talking to guys hiding behind masks or giving up my men like lambs to the slaughter.
My name is Malcolm Merlyn. Perhaps you've heard my name before.
Maybe once or twice. Still doesn't explain what a rich asshole like you wants with Raynor.
If you've heard of me, then perhaps you remember hearing of my wife's passing as well. It was a little over a decade and a half ago at this point.
Oh, I remember. My condolences.
I don't need your condolences. I need Raynor.
Hey, you've already insulted me once by barging into my home. Don't do it again by spitting on my kindness.
My wife died falling out the 5th-story window of the clinic she worked tirelessly to build. Raynor was the one who pushed her. I know you're a man of honor, Don Bertinelli. I understand that you live by a certain code regarding your organization and those who are a part of it. But, as a fellow husband and a fellow father, I beseech that you reconsider that code just this once to help me find the man that set my life into this downward spiral.
Are you a betting man, Mr. Merlyn?
Sometimes. Why?
You're right. I do live by a certain code, and that code will not allow for me to let this intrusion stand.
I see.
But I also understand that you can't exactly leave here empty-handed. So, I'm proposing a wager.
What kind of wager?
An old-fashioned duel. We see which is faster, my bullets or your arrows.
Interesting. I once offered a similar deal to another of my targets. What are the stakes?
I get you. My honor remains intact for defending my home against an intruder, but you die here without ever getting what you want.
And if I get you?
Then I'll tell you what I know about Raynor's location, provided you don't kill me, that is.
Rest assured, I'm a very precise shot.
Is that so? Well, then are those terms acceptable?
What about your honor? If I win, then won't you lose face with your syndicate?
Not if you kill me after I tell you what you need.
What?
That's the only caveat to your victory. I'll tell you what you want, but then you gotta kill me for it.
Why would you want that?
Is that gonna be a problem for you?
Not at all. I'm just curious.
Like you said, I'm a man of honor. In this world we live in, that's all a man like me really has at the end of the day. If I can't beat someone like you, a man who's disrespected that, then at least it won't get tarnished completely if I die here.
The king dies defending his castle. How noble.
I'm not playing around here, Merlyn. If you win and you don't finish me off, then I will make sure you spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder for what you've done here tonight.
Very well, then. Shall we count down like the days of old?
What's the count?
Let's say to the count of 5.
All right. 1,
2,
3,
4,
5.
I must admit, I almost didn't get out of the way of that in time. Very impressive shot, sir. However, there was truly never any doubt in my mind as to who would be victorious. Now, about Mr. Raynor's location.
He's at our compound by the docks near Pier 52. Not really sure which house he's in, but that's where you'll find him.
Splendid. Don't worry about not being too specific. I'm sure it won't take me too much time to suss that out for myself. Thank you for all your help, Don Bertinelli. You truly do live up to the legend I've heard so much about.
Yeah. Just get this over with already.
Of course. After all, a deal's a deal. I promise to make this as painless as I am able. It's the least I could do, after all the cooperation you've given me.
What is your greatest weapon?
My mind.
And what is the greatest instrument your mind has at its disposal?
My body.
You're getting faster. I'm impressed.
Thank you. I had a rough childhood.
We're still telegraphing your attacks.
Still? How do I fix that?
Body and mind are one. To control one is to control the other. Fighting is all about body language after all.
Body language?
Body language is everything. The key to gaining the upper hand in any fight is to catch your opponent off guard and take full advantage of that weakness. What is the greatest fuel for both the mind and the body?
The passion of the heart.
Very good. That's enough training for now.
Are you certain? I'm still ready to learn.
Maybe you are. But there's a very important call you need to take. He's waited ever so patiently for us to finish.
He? Hello? Tommy?
Hey, Dad.
My boy. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm doing much better now that I'm talking to you, son. How have things been at the Queen's? Are Robert and Moira keeping you well fed?
Yeah, Dad, they're great. But I called because I wanted to tell you something.
Oh? Is something wrong?
No, Dad, I passed my final exams in the top 10% of my class.
Well, that's wonderful news, Tommy. Your mother would be so proud of you. Just like I am.
So, when do you think you're coming home?
I don't really know right this moment.
Did I do something wrong? Is it because I didn't want to come home after Mom?
Tommy, no. Of course you didn't do anything wrong. Right now, I'm taking some time to become a better man and a better father for you.
But you're fine just the way you are. Please, Dad. Come home.
I need to be better, Tommy. It's what your mother would have wanted. I'm not strong enough to do this without her the way I currently am. Please tell me you understand.
Okay. But you have to be here before I start my senior year.
I wouldn't dream of missing it, son.
I love you, Dad.
I love you too, son. Let's go again.
I beg your pardon?
If I'm still getting knocked down, despite my improvements, then I need to keep going.
I admire your spirit, Malcolm. But you are weary. You need to rest.
I need to be stronger. I need to be the man my son needs me to be. I need to be the man that my wife needed the night she died.
Very well.
We can continue.
If you are at least insistent on continuing, we'll go on for as long as you can stand. Now, begin!
Stone shouldn't have tossed that. He'd be better off running it down the field himself.
Yeah, but Vic Stone's a machine. Look at that arm cannon. See how far that sucker went?
Yeah. I gotta take a leak. Be right back.
Yeah.
Who the? Damn cat.
Daniel Raynor.
Ah!
You and I need to talk.
What? What the hell are you supposed to be? The hood? Ah!
Not quite.
Ah! You're the other one. Oh God, please don't kill me.
I'm sure that's what all your victims say in the situation, but honestly, has begging ever made a difference to you? Do I have your attention?
What's this about? What do you want?
I need for you to admit something.
What'd I do?
Hey, Viper, you keep it down. What the hell?
Oh God, no!
Stop squirming before I make you stop! Now, to answer your first question, I'm here because I was asked by the mayor to find you.
The mayor?
He's concerned that my counterpart in Green may find you and get you to talk about what you know about him.
But I wouldn't. I ain't a snitch.
Oh, I'm sure you believe that. But our Jolly Green vigilante has a tendency for getting results from even the most unyielding of targets. I'm here to eliminate that problem entirely.
And by eliminate, you mean...
Execute. I warned you I would make you stop.
Why? Why are you torturing me, man? If you're gonna kill me, just do it.
Because I still need you to admit what you did.
Admit to what?
Admit to what you did when you killed my wife! Speechless now, are we? What's wrong? Do you not remember the face of the man whose life you ruined? Or have you killed so many people that you don't even remember the woman you pushed out of a 5th-story window?
I didn't...
Didn't what? Didn't realize your actions had consequences? Didn't think this would come back to haunt you?
I didn't mean to kill her.
You didn't mean to?
Of course I remember her. She was the nice lady who ran the clinic. I used to see her a lot before that night. Before.
Then why did you do it? Stop stuttering and tell me why. Why did you do it?
I didn't have a choice!
What do you mean you didn't have a choice?
Look, man. He had something on me. Had something on all of us. But we were only supposed to trash the place. No one else was supposed to...
Who had something on you?
It was... the mayor.
What? But that doesn't make any sense. Why would he want me, of all people, to eliminate you? Why did he want you to destroy the clinic?
Why should I even bother telling you? You're just gonna kill me.
Perhaps. Or perhaps I'll have a change of heart, depending on what you have to say. Now, tell me everything. Robert, I think I may have found the answer. Robert?
What have you done, Mal?
What do you mean?
You said you were just running experiments in my warehouses.
I am.
Is that what you call what I just watched on these camera monitors? Experiment testing?
When did you put in cameras?
I've always had the cameras. Did you really think I wasn't going to check in on what you were doing? It's my company's property, after all.
I suppose I'm just surprised.
Are you really? You've been behaving very strangely for these past few years, but this is out of control.
Oftentimes, when you run an experiment, there needs to be tested and controlled variables.
Those aren't variables, Malcolm. Those are people you're murdering. What even is that poison you're pumping into them?
Do you really want to know? Because that would be a first.
What's that supposed to mean?
I mean that, for a joint endeavor, You've definitely worked pretty hard to keep your hands clean of any actual muck.
Why do we need to get our hands dirty with the blood of innocent people to do this?
Innocent? That's too kind of a word. No one in this city is truly innocent, Robert. We're all just one moment of triumph over our fellow man from tearing each other apart like animals.
Mal.
What did you think I meant when I said we would cleanse this city, Robert? Because I always intended this. My apologies if you chose to wear blinders.
You also said you needed my facility to house your research, not conduct torturous experiments.
Sometimes a little pain is necessary to contract results. Besides, you don't need to worry about what you saw on that feed. That method has become obsolete.
Pull the plug.
Why the hell would I do that? I come to you bearing a breakthrough in this experiment, and you want to jump ship?
Malcolm, you said...
I am fully aware of what I said. And now I am saying that I have found something that will render these experiments null and void. I'm not giving this up.
Then I'm out.
Out? You're not leaving this. Not when there is so much potential for us to tap here.
Malcolm, this isn't worth it.
Not worth what?
This isn't worth the price of our souls.
I lost my soul the night my wife died outside the clinic she built to help the rotten people of this city. In fact, have I ever played her last voicemail to me for you?
Her what?
Malcolm. Malcolm, please help me. It's so cold.
Oh, Malcolm.
The night she died, she called me. She was on the street, bleeding onto the pavement, and she was begging me, Robert, begging for anyone to save her. But no one did. This city swallowed her up just as it does every decently good person, and if I have to shed a little more of my humanity to right that wrong, so be it.
Well, I'm not going to lose mine.
Do you really think it's going to be that easy to walk away from this?
I do. And you're going to let me.
Am I?
I have enough evidence, more than a mile long in fact, to incriminate the both of us in what you've done. If you try to come for me, I will not hesitate to bring you down too.
So, it's really come to this then.
You want to keep doing what you're doing? Fine. But you will do it without me and my facilities. You said you would take care of things if I thought we were going too far. Well, I guess now you'll have to.
I suppose you've left me no other choice. Goodbye, Robert. Trouble sleeping, Bill?
Malcolm, what the hell are you doing over there?
Just taking a quiet moment to think and reflect.
Why are you doing that in here?
I needed to talk to you. Your doorman said you had left the building a little while ago, so I knew you would probably be heading here. I just had to wait.
Okay. What did you want to talk about?
Hope you don't mind me fiddling with your little memento the vigilante left you. I was just admiring the craftsmanship on it. May I have a little of that?
Sure. By all means.
You know one thing I've always liked about you, Bill? You always spring for the best scotch. Then again, you've always had an eye for quality and finer things.
Malcolm, is everything all right? You're behaving strangely.
Am I? Perhaps it's just been a long night.
What is that you're wearing?
I suppose you could call these my working clothes.
What do you mean by working clothes?
I suppose I wouldn't expect you to understand. It's not like you've ever done a hard day's work in your life. Or maybe you could understand better if I was wearing a mask and a hood.
A mask and hood? What's that supposed to... Wait a minute. You? You're the Black Arrow?
You know, I really do hate that name. But then again, this wasn't supposed to have a name. It was just supposed to conceal my identity so that I wouldn't be directly tied to anything I would have to do while wearing it. Thank you for the scotch, Bill.
So, when I asked the Black Arrow to go after Raynor...
You were just asking me. Which is hilariously ironic considering how hard you tried to keep it a secret from me. I did manage to catch up with him, by the way.
And is he...
Oh yes, he is eliminated. Though, not as you intended.
What do you mean?
I made it very clear to him how dangerous it would be for him to continue living in this city, and he agreed that perhaps a change of scenery would be best.
You let him go?
So long as I never see his face again, Mr. Raynor will continue breathing for more days to come.
But that isn't what I asked you to do!
You said to eliminate. And believe me when I say, Bill, that word has far more meanings under its definition than your limited vocabulary could ever understand.
But why on earth would you let him go?
Because when I found out just exactly how it is you two know each other, I realized I would be punishing the wrong person. Really, nothing to say. That's a first. You know, I thought it was strange that you wouldn't let me hold my event for Rebecca at the very hospital named in her memory. But I was willing to let that go. However, after my conversation with Mr. Raynor, I decided to look into the exact reason why you would have said no.
I told you. It was because...
Because of investors tied to the center, right? I remember, Bill. So I looked into those investors you were so adamant about.
You did?
You sound surprised. Well, imagine my surprise, then, when I discovered that all these investors are just shell companies you use to launder your money into your more private bank accounts.
Now, Malcolm, hold on.
I know you're not exactly the most benevolent person, but imagine my shock when I discovered how you've been using Rebecca's clinic for all these years.
I saved that clinic from being taken over by someone who would have just torn it down.
Saved it for who, Bill? Name me one time in the past decade that the clinic actually helped someone.
Well, It isn't as simple as all that.
Clearly. You know, I remember how grateful I was that you had taken conservatorship over it. You may be wealthy, Malcolm, but the interest on this place will put you in debt but you'll never recover from. Especially since the insurance will probably skyrocket from the incident that took place. Just leave it to me, and I'll make sure your wife's legacy is still standing. I was so stupid, I actually thanked you.
I kept my promise. That damn rat hole is still standing, is it not?
A superficial promise from a superficial friendship. The fact that you called it a rat hole only further illustrates that point.
Now see here.
But that's not all. I also found out about the emails you had your little shell company send to my Rebecca.
You did?
I did. And I was disgusted. I don't know how you did it. How do you go From taking us out to dinners and inviting us to your lavish charity functions with one face, but then turn around and threaten someone you called a friend to close her clinic with the other. You already took her peace of mind. Why did you have to take her life too?
Malcolm, you got it all wrong.
Do I? Because Raynor said that she caught him by surprise, but that you had already given the order to deal with anyone that might be in the building. No witnesses and all that. So I want to hear the truth from you. I deserve to hear the truth from you. After all these years that I've spent...
It wasn't supposed to go that way. It was an accident.
An accident? You ruined my life, you disgusting vulture!
Let me explain.
Do you understand what you've done? Do you have any idea what I've sacrificed to be the man I am today? I have shredded every last ounce of the man Rebecca loved to become this. And you have the audacity to tell me now that it all happened because of an accident.
She wasn't supposed to be there.
What was that, Bill? I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of the air being squeezed out of your fat neck.
Rebecca wasn't supposed to be there.
What?
It's true. I asked Raynor and his crew to vandalize the clinic. I had grown tired of your wife's stubborn refusal to listen to reason. So, I lightly persuaded some delinquents that were familiar with the clinic to go in after dark and take the choice out of her hands.
Why would you do that? You signed off on the plan to build the damn thing in the first place.
Because of other investors that were going to really help revitalize our city and put it back on the map. You were supposed to be at City Hall that night for the annual policeman's ball. By the time I had realized you had come alone, it was too late.
I can't believe you. That's all it took to betray us? Some greedy industrialists waving a wad of cash in your face?
Helping the weak and the lame may be good for PR, but it means absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of keeping a city alive. Money is the only real language this world speaks, Malcolm. I thought you, of all people, would get that.
Don't you hand me that. I've spent years working alongside you, and you knew all along what you had done, and said nothing to me.
What good would it have done?
I only went down this path because of what you did.
No, you don't get to put that all on me. You were always an angry man, Malcolm. All Rebecca's death did was bring out who you really were.
Don't you dare say her name. Not after everything you've done.
You're unhinged, Malcolm. You're behaving like a lunatic.
Who was it, Bill?
Who?
These investors that made you turn your back on my family so readily. Who were they?
It doesn't matter anymore.
Why not?
It just doesn't.
Why not, Bill?
Because you killed them all already!
I did.
During Christmas. Your little dog and pony show you held with the vigilante.
You mean to tell me you sold out my wife's clinic to pieces of garbage like Reagan, Hargrave, Dennis, Lemire, and Grell?
I did what I felt was best for the city's future.
You did what was best for your wallet.
Malcolm, please.
And all the while, I've been doing what, Bill? Helping you create the very environment I sought to eradicate in the first place?
I don't think you can label everything you've done in such black and white terms.
Have all my contributions I've given you over the years only helped benefit your bottom line as these cockroaches feasted upon this city? Yes or no?
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Malcolm, for a moment, just listen to me, please. I know that it must be hard for you to hear all of this after all this time, but I genuinely didn't help you with this on a whim. I believe in Ouroboros. I believe in the vision you see for the city. In fact, I share it. We can still see this through, Malcolm. We can still create the change for this city you've worked so hard to achieve.
You're right. I have to end this.
Malcolm!
What's the matter, Bill? Don't you want to be a part of the change? Don't you want to atone for your sins?
Malcolm, please! Please forgive me!
You want forgiveness? Beg for it.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Malcolm!
Not to me, you idiot! Tell it to Rebecca! What have I done? What have I done? Oh, I can't think that way now. I have to finish this. I have to. It's the only way I have left to atone.
Malcolm!
Moira, I must say this is a pleasant...
Did you threaten my husband?
Excuse me?
Did you threaten my husband when you visited him at Queen Consolidated?
Well, we had a disagreement, but I'd hardly call it a threat.
Don't you play word games with me, Malcolm! I don't know what you two have been working on for the past few years, but whatever you talked about today had him really shaken up. What did you two discuss?
As I said, we had a disagreement. We disagreed on the functionality of our working relationship regarding a private project. Nothing to concern yourself with.
It concerns me if he backed out and you've involved our company in any way.
Robert's role was merely advisory. That's all. All funds were done exclusively through Merlyn Global. You're working yourself up over nothing, Moira.
I'll decide for myself what's worth getting worked up over. You didn't see him when he got home. He was very upset. He even started talking about how we needed to leave the city for a while and take the kids with us.
And what do you think?
I think if you try to come for him, regardless of what you disagree on, I will not hesitate to take you on.
So much for friends helping friends through dark times.
Don't be cute, Malcolm. I want to make sure you're clear on exactly where I stand when you're causing issues that distress my family.
Then consider me crystal clear.
Good.
Moira!
Malcolm?
I've always admired that steadfast determination you have for your family. I certainly wouldn't behave calmly if I believed what was precious to me was in danger either. Simply making sure you also know where I stand, Moira. Nothing more.
Malcolm. You need help.
I'll take that under advisement. Stay safe out there, Moira. You and Robert both. Mr. Diaz, so glad you could join me.
You're the boss. You call and I answer.
Indeed. How was your drive up here?
Not gonna lie, kinda crazy. Cops are all over the roads right now, since someone tore through the Bertinellis tonight.
My.
Apparently the mayor got hit tonight too. Fell out of his office window. Gotta say, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
I'm not usually one to speak ill of the dead, but I would have to agree with you on that.
You know, I was surprised to get your call. You've been mostly keeping me on the freak leash these days.
The closer we get to our end goal, the more I find myself not requiring as much secrecy with our meetings.
You, all right, sir?
I suppose you could say I have had somewhat of a purpose realignment.
Is, that a good thing?
It doesn't feel like it is now. But it will be.
Jesus, Mr. Merlyn, what happened to your face?
Oh, these lovely marks. They were a farewell gift from my dear departed friend, the mayor, right before I pushed him out of his window.
You pushed him out the window? But...
Trust me, Ricardo, there was a very good reason as to why I did it.
Okay. What does that mean for us?
Nothing.
Nothing? What about any evidence you might have left in his office?
One of our people in the department will take care of that. That's what I pay them a king's ransom for, isn't it? Besides, I have a feeling they're going to be far too interested in the green-tipped arrow sticking out from his neck to even bother looking at anything else.
You framed the hood?
I did. It's ironic, really. Bill recently came to me and asked that I find a better solution to keep our hooded friend from meddling with us. Little did he realize just how instrumental he would be in helping me achieve that.
Damn. That's cold, boss.
Do you disapprove?
Not even a little bit.
Excellent. Then do join me for a glass of scotch.
You sure?
It was the mayor's favorite, and, despite how frustrated I was with him at the end, he was my friend. I'm in mourning, so please do commiserate with me, Ricardo. Drinking alone can feel so maudlin.
Sure thing, boss. Hey, boss.
Yes?
Not to get into your business too much, but is there a particular reason you're dressed like the other archer?
Because I am the other archer.
You want to run that by me again?
I am indeed him. The man behind the curtain, as it were. I apologize for the subterfuge, Ricardo, but as I said, as we come to the final stages of this operation, I no longer feel such an urgent need for secrecy. Are you upset with me?
You're damn right I am! You rode my ass way too hard wearing that hood. There was months of constant belittling and jumping through hoops. Just for me to find out it was you in a mask, toying with me the whole goddamn time!
Well, you're more than welcome to take a shot at me if you'd like, but just know that I was never trying to toy with you. I only did what I had to in order to push you to your greatest potential.
All right. So where do we go from here?
We'll get to that in a moment. First, a question, if I may.
Shoot.
See, after some troubling events that have recently transpired, I find myself needing reassurance as we edge closer to the denouement. I need to know if you are truly committed to this plan in its entirety.
Are you serious? You really need to know if I'm loyal? After everything you've put me through?
Luckily, in your case, I don't require physical affirmation. A verbal one will be just fine, but know that if you begin lying, I'll be able to tell.
How?
That's a story for another time. Please, continue.
Did you grow up here?
What's that got to do with anything?
Boss, just humor me, will you?
No, I was born in Fawcett City, actually. Have you ever been?
Can't say I have.
You certainly aren't missing much. The place is such an impoverished wreck that you really can't tell who's displaced and who's working class. My parents were slumlords of all things. We weren't affluent, but we weren't exactly destitute either.
Well, see, I did grow up here. I've always lived in the dirt in one form or another. I was one of the many displaced orphans this city, your old friend Murphy included, didn't give a single shit about as thousands went hungry every night.
I'm so sorry, Ricardo.
It's fine. I don't look back at it as a hardship. At the end of it all, it made me strong. I learned early on that I had to do whatever was necessary in order to feed myself for another day. And I did it. I learned to survive by any means necessary.
Did you ever try to leave?
Once or twice. I made some ripples in a few other cities, but nothing really worthwhile.
Why did you come back?
Why did you come here?
Seriously.
If you want honesty, you gotta be prepared to give some of your own.
True enough. Unfortunately, my parents weren't exactly the greatest when it came to keeping things up to fire safety codes. After their passing, I used what inheritance I had and whatever insurance money was left to start my life over. Send myself to a top-notch college and really reinvent myself. After starting Merlyn Capital, I moved here to try and make a name for myself.
See, for me, it didn't matter how far I went. Something kept pulling me back. So I decided to listen to that feeling and thought I'd really try to make waves, to make a name for myself here. Not too unlike yourself, when you really think about it.
Very inspiring. Though, you haven't answered my query.
I'm getting there, just listen. When I came back, all that buildup immediately deflated. Nothing had changed here. In fact, things actually got worse since I'd been gone. There were more and more people on the streets, and even more assholes like Murphy out there to take advantage of them. But I ruled with it. I thought, all right, if that's the way we gotta play this, then I'll beat them at their own game. So I started dealing, stealing, and killing whoever I had to in order to get in front of all the who's who in this city and get them in my pocket. Then one day I got a call about another rich asshole who needed someone with my kind of connections. I take the meeting like always, but when I actually sat down and listened to what this man had to say and what he wanted for this city, it was like I'd been waiting my whole life to finally hear someone else say exactly what I've always thought about this place. This city is broken. It's always been broken. And no amount of money, politics, or community outreach is ever gonna fix that. It just needs to be reset to have all the bad washed away, like that flood from the Bible. Meeting you felt like fate.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Ricardo. Truly, I am touched by your devotion.
So do I pass?
With flying colors, my boy. I sincerely do apologize that this has all been so clandestine up until now. But ours truly is a slippery precipice, Ricardo. This whole thing could fall apart if we reserve our doubts now. So, I thank you for calming mine.
No problem. Look, I may not be happy with the way you've treated me throughout this whole thing, but I do believe in your vision for a better tomorrow after Ouroboros.
You do? Even I have to admit, this whole endeavor borders on the genocidal.
Scars and all. Mask or no mask.
You really have no idea how much that means to me, especially now that we are so close to the end. Perhaps it was fate that set us both on this path. Regardless of how we have gotten here, I'm happy to not be walking it alone. Are you ready to begin our final preparations?
I was born ready.
Green Arrow Year 1 stars J.D. Shouse as Malcolm Merlyn, Gina Stockwell as Moira Queen, Cliff Jones as Robert Queen, Colima Acevedo as Gina McKenna and Rebecca Merlyn, Jake Johnston as Oliver Queen and Daniel Raynor, Summer Rose as Thea Queen, Jeremy Tucker as Frank Bertinelli, Noel Pennison as Dr. Haselden, with Wyatt Bowden as Tommy Merlyn, Bill Murphy, and The Stranger, and Joseph Boslinski as Ricardo Diaz. Featuring additional voices by Wyatt West, Alex B., Henry Schultz, Noel Pennison, Colima Acevedo, and Wyatt Bowden. Story written and directed by Wyatt Bowden. Music scored by Wolf No. 9. Featuring additional music brought to you by the Knighthood Project. Audio engineered by Billy Mazzell. Series art by Evan Collin. Edited by Joseph E.W. Series produced by CBW Productions and the Knighthood Project. As Oliver and Tiana prepare to take their fight to Chen Na Wei in the past, the team begins their attempt at keeping Ouroboros from stabilizing the Dragon Viper in the present. Thea finally takes a stand against Merlyn, and now that the Hood is under suspicion for killing the mayor, Oliver continues wondering if murdering Malcolm Merlyn might be the only way to finally end this. Next time on Green Arrow Year 1. Best Laid Plans, Part 1. A good plan of action can be the difference between failure and success. But what good is a plan if there are those who still won't follow it?